I just left out.
The following program contains graphic content. Viewer discretion is advised.
It was a sad time. I stayed indoors a lot until it was time to go to the hospital. I felt encaged, claustrophobic in my own body. I can't get out, and I want to get out, and I don't want to be this way. And I would cry, and then I would fall to my knees and I would pray.
The first time I saw her after the accident, it had been quite a few months. I don't quite remember my reaction, and I think that's because I wasn't that shocked. I guess probably because I was so prepared for it.
Before I could come home from the hospital, I had to learn how to walk again. After being in a hospital in the burn unit for 3 months, just laying there, I didn't know how to walk. And so, and they promised if I learned how to walk that I could go home. So the struggle to learn how to walk began. Going home meant dressing changes, the bandages, trying to eat, you know, because not being able to open my mouth wide because I had to have what's called releases because my mouth was burned and it was so tight that the surgeon would have to go in and cut the sides of my mouth so that I could be able to brush my teeth and open wide. Okay, y'all gonna come in the kitchen and get this fruit. Come on.
Let them all read anyway. Thank you.
Eating, I try to eat small pieces because it's not a normal mouth. And so even though I'll eat what I want to eat, but I try to be careful because the feeling in my lip isn't complete. There's some areas I can feel and when I'm eating. Okay, we got to bring some jokes. Noah, bring a joke tomorrow.
Let's talk about going to a show.
And also went through occupational therapy because my hands were weak for not using them. And so they were showing me, giving me exercises on how to strengthen my hands. I'm blind on my left side. I have to really be careful when I walk, and sometimes I open up the car door and I turn around quick and I'll bump my head because because of the view, because of my vision isn't there. I'll use this hand just so I don't bump into anything, especially if I'm walking fast. And if I'm very conscious about my right and left, who's on my right and left. When I'm walking down the street, I make sure that whoever's walking with me is on my right side so that I can see them, so I don't bump into them if they're on my left side. He's so happy. He think he's gonna get a toy when we get in the dollar store. All those toys he got at home. Come on, Noah. I knew that I was a woman, but yet I was treated like a person, but not like a female. So I had lost the femininity. You know, I was just this person. I knew I was a woman, but I wasn't treated like woman. I wore this job completely over my face. So it was all about the healing. Noah. Okay, you see something you want? All right, because we're getting ready to leave. My child was younger then. She was 7. Taking her to school, was something that I lost. I couldn't take her all the way to school. I would just take her so far, and then she would walk the rest of the way because I didn't want her friends to see me. So they wouldn't ask, you know, and tease her about how her mother looked.
She would walk me halfway to school. I remember people just shouting out comments, you know, while we were together, out shopping, people not knowing or not even caring that we were together, that was my mother.
Getting on the bus, everybody would stare at me, and I've had people say, why don't you stay in the house? I've had people say, oh, look at that monster walking down the street. That was a very hard time.
The following program contains graphic content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Sometimes I would go to sleep and would dream that I was normal, just to wake up and find that there still was no eye, you know, that I was still burned. Lord, if this is going to be my life, just be with me. Just give me the strength. Why me wasn't a question that I didn't ask for a long time. It would be years, you know, through maybe a depressed or stressful state when I would finally say, why me? I knew that if nobody else loved me, that God did. I knew that He was giving me favor even in this life, even with all the surgeries that I was having. I was re-energized, I was strengthened, and I would get up and go another day because I had a child to raise, and I didn't want anybody else to raise my child, and I knew I had a life to live, and then there was hope.
And I always have to let people know that that is my mother. If we're ever in a public place and she's on one end of the mall and I'm at the other end, I find myself saying, Mommy, Mommy, just to letting everybody know that that is my mother. And to me, that was a way to let her know that I'm with you. You know, you don't have to go through this by yourself.
My face has changed many times. When I look in the mirror now, I think I'm beautiful. I think I'm cute. And I knew